Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Zach, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And did you know that motivation is a muscle? But before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, and do share, especially if you find value in this presentation, okay? It helps our channel grow. I want to thank you in advance for doing it. All right, so here it goes. Did you know that motivation is really a muscle? Yes, it's a muscle. Now, it's scientifically proven, and before I get to the science of it, I just want to put something out there, okay? Men, generally, not all across the board, generally don't perform until they have to, okay? It shows in so many studies. Single men generally don't earn as much as married men, fathers, okay? It's a known statistic. You can Google it. And the reason is because up until the point that they need to be providers, as long as they're providing for themselves, there's not much inertia, there's not much benefit for them doing it for themselves. They're okay with being mediocre. But when they do have someone that depends on them, they game increases. It's an interesting fact. Now, in most cases, men don't take the initiative. It's just a reality, okay? However, studies have shown that when we do something that takes friction, that takes something really hard, there's a part in our brain that has a avoidance of doing that thing that really is very difficult. Whatever it is, getting up at 5 o'clock and going for a run, or doing some sort of extra work, knowing that you have kicked off from work and doing another 5 minutes of work. Yes, 5 minutes. All it is 5 minutes of work. That 5 minutes feels like an hour, okay, for some reason. Now, studies have shown that once we've done whatever activity that is causing all this friction, we've now moved ourselves past that friction, and it's much easier, okay? I would say it's even 70% easier moving forward, because once that activity in the brain is shut on, okay, it just moves. It becomes almost like inertia. You've made the initial movement. It's like moving a big, massive locomotive train, right? That initial push is very difficult, but once that train starts moving, the inertia is there. Now, there are certain things that can keep you in that discipline to keep you moving, but like I said, that initial friction is probably the biggest challenge that I think most of us are faced with to get to that point. Now, it could get to the point because something becomes really, really painful, and then we have that inertia, we have that motivation to do something, and then it's just, the ball is just running, and it's the inertia. But initially, to make that break, that is what I'm talking about. That takes a lot from all of us, and I just want to honor that moment, because when that happens, when you do break that initial, whatever it is, whatever is studying or taking on some sort of discipline that you know you need to do, a diet, whatever it is, whatever that discipline is, that initial step should be rewarded with something tangible that you can then refer back to. And it should be something meaningful. I remember going back to my early days of trading, and I'll never forget it. The first time I made some money, I think it was $500 or $1,000, whatever it was, my mentor at the time said to me, go buy yourself something nice for that amount of money, but it should be an item. And at the time, I bought myself a watch. And for me, it's always been like, hey, I could refer back to that item and say, I did it once, I could do it again. I'll never forget it. When I was first interviewed for one of my positions, one of the things that I was challenged with is I showed some of my success in the past. And so somebody said to me is that, how do you know that you could do it again? So without hesitating, I said, once I've done it once, I could do it again. It's just replicating success. If I put my heart into it, if I put my effort into it, I know I could replicate that success. And that goes through everything in life. And when you do have that confidence, most likely you will repeat that success. So with many times, having that initial inertia, that initial break is probably the hardest thing. And this is really what I want to tell you, is that when you do make that break, when you do make that change, that habit, that ritual that breaks it, you will then feel yourself completely on a different level, and you celebrate it by getting something very significant. Now, in order to sustain it, you got to stick to a discipline, you got to stick to somewhat of a ritual or a routine that helps you see that through. Okay, putting yourself in that environment, putting yourself in that, separation, okay, from whatever else is going to distract you from that goal is what you've got to put yourself in. And if you keep on doing that and keep on doing that and keep on doing that, you'll see tremendous success in a very short period of time. I'm talking about 5 months to 6 months. You'll see tremendous differences with who you are as a person. And most likely, once you start journaling it, it's that much more effective. And I'll never forget that first time when I got that watch, and then 6 months later, I took a big hit. And sure enough, I was able to get back up, right? Because I said to myself, I did it once, I could do it again. But breaking that initial inertia, that took the biggest effort. And for most of us, it is. But once it's done, that continuation becomes that much more effective for you and for the people around you, because now you've added a certain friction in the company, in your little cosmo, that then is systemic on everybody else. It could be a family, it could be in your workplace, it could be anywhere. It could be in the restaurant if you're working in a restaurant, it could be anywhere. But people feel that vibe. Thank you for joining me for this Motivational Monday. We'll see you here next week.